investment decisions. Okay, how to calculate NPV and IRR for any long-term project on the basis of inputs noted as below. Consider the economic life of the project as 7 years. These are the inputs: investments, sales volume, unit selling price, unit variable cost, annual fixed cost, depreciation, corporate tax rate, discount rate, all this. Now, the calculation is made through Excel sheet and the result is presented here in this slide. How the computation is made, that I am going to show the Excel sheet. This is the Excel sheet. Okay, this is the Excel sheet. Just see, all these are the investment, all these are the inputs as I have already mentioned, and this is the calculation: first year, second year, third year, up to 7th year, and the calculation is made through this Excel sheet where only the formula are noted. Say this is the formula is noted as minus C3. Why minus? Minus is for outflow of fund, not inflow. It is the reverse of inflow of fund. That's why the negative sign is given. Minus C3. C3 is the formula. This is the C and 3 is the column. This value to identify, to mention this value, the formula is given here. In this way, the entire calculation is made through formula of Excel. Right now I am showing you few items. It is not possible to show all the items. It will take a lot of time. Say this. What is this? This is, you will see, variable cost for third year. Variable cost for third year. The formula is written as C4 into C6. Why dollar sign is given? To make it as fixed, so that when we will drag the values, the variable will not change. C4, see the C4, where is the C4? This is C, and 4 is the, this is the fourth column. That is the sales volume. Sales volume, variable cost we are discussing here. Sales volume into variable cost per unit. This is C6 is the variable cost per unit. C6 is the variable cost per unit. Where is the 6? This is C6. Unit is variable cost 6.7. That means if you multiply 6.7 with the volume 1000, then you will get this value 6750. The formula is noted here. Automatically the calculation is made. In this way, say I am showing you any other. I'll say this is the depreciation calculation. How it is made? Depreciation calculation C3. C3 is the investment amount. Say your investment is made for purchasing a plant for expansion or enhancement of the capacity, and the capital cost or asset cost or investment cost is written at C3. You can check it. C3, where is the C3? This is C and 3. This is the row 3. C3 is 10,000. C3 is 10,000. I am showing you the calculation of this one. C3, that is 10,000 or investment 10,000, and after it 3 zeros are also written, that I have already mentioned. So C3 minus D19 and E19. D19 means what? D19 is that this is the 19 position, the depreciation. D19, D is this value, and E19. That means these have already been charged. That's why the investment amount is to be reduced by this depreciation amount which has already been charged. And this is the remaining value on which the depreciation is to be charged for third year. And the percentage is written C8. C8 means C where is that? Is the depreciation percentage. In this way, the formula are noted. For all the calculations, only formula are given. You can see this is also formula. I am not going to discuss each and every one in this way. So for tax calculation, I am showing anyone said this is the tax calculation. What is the tax percentage? Where it is noted and noted, it is equal to C9 is the tax percentage into I20. C9, this is the tax calculation. I9, this is I9 is this, sorry, I20, sorry, I20 is this 20 EBIT, earning before interest and tax. I20, this is the I20, and on this value the tax is charged C9 multiplied with C9, it is 35%, and this value will come. In this way, through formula, all the calculations have been made through Excel sheet. I am reading the items noted here. This is the first investment amount, which represents the outflow of fund. Investment here means, say, to purchase any asset or any big plant or any other item to enhance the capacity. This is the capital cost on which the depreciation is to be charged. And this is the revenue item. Revenue, how revenue is calculated? This is inflow, that's why positive. Okay, you can check any one. C54 into C4 into C5. What is C4? C4 is sales volume and C5 is the selling price. If you multiply sales volume with the sale price, then you get revenue. In this way, calculated the revenue, variable cost, fixed cost, depreciation, and this is EBIT means earning before interest and tax. How it is computed? Earning means revenue minus all cost, variable cost, fixed cost, and depreciation. All these are cost. If you subtract all this from 15,000, then you will get EBIT, earning before interest and tax, and the tax amount will be charged on this. Tax is 35%. That's why again here is the formula. C9 is the tax percentage and D20 is the EBIT, earning before interest and tax, and this is the tax amount. And if you subtract the tax from EBIT, then you will get profit after tax. And to get the cash flows, you have to add with this amount the depreciation, as depreciation is the expenses which does not take any cost, that's why any cash, that's why it is to be added to get the cash flows. All these are the cash flows. Okay, and this is negative as it is outflow of fund, and this is, all these are the positive as all these are inflow of fund. Now the NPV is computed by the formula of Excel sheet. Okay, what is the formula? NPV is equal to C10 is the discount rate or capital cost by which all the cash flows are discounted to the present value. So this is the discount rate, and D23 to I23. This is D23 to I20. Sorry, I know I. It is J. D23 is the series of cash flows. D23. If it is outflow, then minus. Other all are positive. The cash flows are noted D23 to Z23. Sorry, D23. Cash inflows are taken, and finally plus C23 is this amount. And with the help of this formula, this is the amount of net present value, and this is the formula to calculate the IRR. You can check it how it is calculated. The total series of inflows and outflows, the total series of fund from here to 7th year. That's why C23 to J23. This is the series and comma, and this is the arbitrarily starting any discount rate. You can put any discount rate, say 0.8%, 10%. Here it is taken 12%, and automatically it will generate the IRR. IRR means that discount rate or rate of return by which if you discount all the cash inflows at present value and subtract the cash outflow, then it will be 0. That is NPV will be 0. As IRR is the rate of return from the project. The process for finding out or the formula is noted here. What is the advantage of Excel sheet is that because in the sensitivity analysis we will see that we have to calculate the net present value for different values of variables. So one calculation is required such a lengthy process, but with the help of Excel sheet it is very easy. If you change the variable, the value of the variable, instantly the value of the NPV will be calculated. As this is the advantage of Excel sheet. It is an electronic sheet. All calculations are done through formula are set. That's why if you change any variable, immediately you will get the NPV, and we will take the advantage of this for sensitivity analysis that I will discuss later on. So this is the Excel sheet which I have discussed, and this output I will present to my presentation software, and this is the depreciation value calculated on 7th year, and it is slightly technical. How it is computed? See, depreciation up to 6th year, this is the value of the depreciation up to 6th year. D19 to I19, this is D19. If you add all the values up to 19, then you will get the total depreciation charge up to 6th year. This is total depreciation already charged from 1st year to 6th year. Now if we subtract this value from the initial value of the investment, that is 10,000, then you will get the reduced value at the beginning of the 7th year. What is the reduced value at the beginning of the 7th year? 10,000 minus this. The formula is noted. 10,000 is C3 investment amount minus J26. This is J26. This is the reduced or opening value for the 7th year. Now depreciation is to be charged 25% rate. That's why for that year, for the 7th year, the depreciation amount will be this into 0.25. This is noted, L27 into 0.25. This is the formula. Okay. So this is the depreciation for the 7th year. Now whatever the value remains will be decreased every year by 25%, as it is a WDB method for ever till it is reached the value 0. And what you have to do, that all the depreciation values for the remaining periods is to bring to the present value, and that is done. How this is done? This is done. This formula, I have used this formula to bring the depreciation for the remaining value to 7th year, okay, which are reduced year after 7th year. What is the formula? This is 1780 minus 445, because at the end of the year the value of the assets will be this minus depreciation charge for the year, and that amount will be charged 25% rate every year till reduced to 0, and the discount rate is 12%. And if you apply, slowly you will check, then you will see the present value of the entire depreciation after 7th year on the 7th year will be this 902. Then what will be the total depreciation? This amount which already have been charged, and this is the revenue of this plus this. That's why this is 1347. If you add this to this, it is already, you can see the formula for 4590 to this. In this way, this amount has been calculated. Now we are again returning back to the original presentation slide. Okay, but these are the presentation slide which now I have discussed. This is the Excel sheet, and this is the NPV. Just I have shown you. Now I'm going to discuss the next, the sensitivity analysis. But till now we have learned how to compute NPV and IRR using Excel sheet, and also I have shown the beauty or advantage of the Excel sheet, that if you change any value of any variable, instantly the NPV value will be changed according to the changed value. Okay. Now what is sensitivity analysis? Why we are worried or why we are interested to learn this? Actually, sensitivity analysis examines the impact of one variable at a time on NPV. NPV is the net present value, considering other variables remain constant. What are the variables? The inputs I have already discussed. All these are the variables, you can say. That is sales volume, unit selling price, unit variable. So if any variable is changed, then what will be the value of the NPV, considering all other variables remains constant. This is the process for sensitivity analysis. Okay. Now what is the problem and what are the advantages of it, that I am going to discuss. Sensitivity analysis actually identifies that variables which are risky. That means, risky means what? If the value of that variable changes, then what will happen? Then the project may be, then for that value, the value of NPV may be negative. That means the project may be rejected. Okay. And then in that case, we can say that variable is very risky and should be careful. Okay. Now I am showing through calculation how it is done. The assumptions of the sensitivity analysis. What are the assumptions? The assumptions are, these are the normal situation. Suppose these are the expected situation when we are preparing the project. This is the expected situation. Volume means sales units is 1000, and all are given with 3 zeros more. Okay. So the unit selling price rupees 15, and units variable cost is this, and the annual fixed cost is this. This is a normal situation. Now if the situation changes to adverse, suppose if anything happens or due to adverse situation, what may be happened? It is forecasted or assumed that this value, the sales volume or volume, may be reduced to 750, and unit selling price, this may be reduced to this, and units variable cost, adverse situation, that means the cost will be increased, maybe increased to this, and the fixed cost, as it is cost, that's why adverse situation, the cost may be increased to this. Actually 25% we have assumed will be decreased for sales volume and for selling price. And if the situations are favorable, that is optimistic, then what will happen? The sales volume may be increased to this. In this way, all the assumptions are noted. Now we'll check what will be the value of NPV for all these new values of the variables, whatever is noted for pessimistic situations or adverse situations, and this is the optimistic or favorable situations, and these are the normal situations. Now I have already shown you it is very easy to compute the NPV instantly by putting the new value to that variable. Suppose for this, if for the sales volume we put 750 instead of 1000, then what will happen? The NPV will be this. Again I will show you how it is done. Again I will show you calculation. This is the normal situation which I have already shown the calculation, and this is the favorable situation. If the unit is this selling unit, then the NPV will be this. In this way, all NPV values are noted here, and it is very easy and very few minutes only will take to compute all these values. And by inspecting this, it is very clear that these variables are very risky, because if it is changed or reduced by 25%, then NPV will be negative and it will be this. If the NPV is negative, then you cannot accept the project, because the project will be in loss. You should reject the project. That's why it is identified that this variable is very risky, and these variables are also this variable selling price is also very risky. You have to put extra emphasis to decide the accuracy of this value. Okay, otherwise you may be reached to the wrong situation, that is the project may be rejected. Okay, the calculation, again for showing the calculation, I am returning back to the Excel sheet. This is the Excel sheet, and the calculations are done by putting these values, and this is the NPV values. I am showing you anyone, say I am showing this value. If we put the sale price 16.50, instantly you will see the value of NPV will be, you note down here, 6975. What is the selling price? What is the selling price? We are taking 16.50. 16.50. What is the selling price? 16.50. If you put 16.50, then see what will be the NPV. NPV is 9,422. 9,422, and it is just a second to get this calculation. In this way you can calculate all the NPV values, and that is noted in the presentation slide. Again we are going back to the original presentation. So now, okay, now what are the advantages of sensitivity analysis? We have seen how to compute the data for sensitivity analysis, that we have discussed. Okay, now what are the advantages of sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis identifies critical high risk variables. In this case I have already mentioned sales volume and sale price are the most critical and high risk variables. Highlights which assumptions require more accurate estimation. As it is the high risk variable, that's why you should put extra effort to calculate the input value of that variable. That means you have to put extra effort or extra care for deciding the value of that variable when you will take the decision for selecting the project. Helps avoid investing in projects that are highly sensitive to small changes. If the risk variables are highly sensitive, that means if small changes is made, then the project will be rejected or the NPV is negative, then you should avoid that type of project. That means you should always avoid the high risk or sensitive projects. It also assists in determining the break-even points that I will discuss in detail in my next video. Okay, you just read out the background. Okay, next, limitations. What are limitations of sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis assumes that only one variable changes at a time, like sales price, variable cost, only one variable. other variables, while other variables remains constant. But in practice, in reality, variables are often interrelated. It is not practical that only one variable is changing, other remains constant. It is not practical. For example, a reduction in price may increase sales volume. It is very common practice. So if price reduces, then sales volume increases, and may also affect the variable cost also, or other cost also. This interdependence is not considered in sensitivity analysis, which may limit the practical use of its result. Okay, then what we'll do? For that, we'll discuss in my separate video the other tools to make it practical, like scenario analysis and also simulation techniques, that we'll discuss in separate videos. But here I am discussing the sensitivity analysis. These are the limitations. I think it is clear. The main limitation is the variables are interrelated, but we are considering the variable as a segregated, and we are considering only one variable, change of only one variable, considering other variables remaining constant. It is not practical. Okay. Now, proposed next video, just see, this video will be done next time. That is, we have identified the key variables for which you have to put extra effort, and just in brief I am telling, for that sensitive or risky variable, we will find out the break-even point where the NPV is 0. That is the value of the variable for which the NPV is 0. If the value of that variable goes down or low, then the NPV will be negative and the project will be rejected. How it is to be determined, that I will show in my next video, and which will be helpful for the decision taker, that always be careful that the value of that key or sensitive variable should not go below that break-even point. That is the advantage, and this part will be discussed in a separate video after this. Okay. Now all viewers are requested to please like and share and also subscribe this video. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you again. And one thing, if you have any doubt or you face any problem, you please note to the comment box. I will definitely reply at the earliest possible. Don't hesitate for that. Thank you. Thank you very much.